Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am creating a card using all kinds of Fawn items which I really adore. So first of all I have my butterfly kisses and then my Meadow backdrop portrait. So I'm going to do a lot of ink blending today. I did the die cutting already so that I could save some time. But here I have taken some scrap piece of paper so that I could ink blend my background on top of this. I am masking off my edges because, as you know me, I really like keeping those edges white. Therefore I'm using some purple tape, which is easy to remove afterwards. And then I can start ink blending. Today I am ink blending with some distress inks. I first tried the Tumbled gloss, but that didn't show up as much as I wanted it to, so I switched to Peacock feathers. I think I need to ink up my ink pad again, but I haven't got that refill so far, so... So I'm adding peacock feathers, and then for the grass I will use some crushed olives as well as mowed lawn. Now that the biggest part of the blending is done, I am going to peel off that purple tape and I'm going to splatter some of these colors on top of each part of this card. So peacock feathers for the sky and mowed lawn for my grass. So for the clouds I am just using the leftover ink on my brush and I'm taking a bit more dabbing it completely off because my brush was getting a bit dry, so I had to re-ink it, but just really soft going from the bottom up. And then for my flowers, I decided to take some purple tape, get them on there so that they wouldn't move, and then I took my worn lipstick and my Festive berries and I just blended these two colors on top of it. And then the inside pieces of the flower, I am using just some regular mustard seed yellow, and I'm just blending that completely. And I'm going in with dried marigold to add a bit more dimension to those inner pieces. Now I'm going to stamp out my images, and as you saw in the picture in the beginning, I am doing some Noline coloring again with my Copic Markers. So here you have my Ink on 3 fade out Noline coloring ink onto Neenah 110. Recently I also made another card, a Christmas card that I showed you, using my Copic Markers to do some Noline coloring as well. And as in that video, I also told you that this is a medium that I'm not familiar with to do some Noline coloring with, because I have less of control with it. There are a lot of people who are amazed by the Noline coloring. Thank you so much for all the compliments. And they are wondering if they can do it themselves, and I always say you just need to try it, you need to give it a go. I also just find my own way to do some Noline coloring. What I must say is that it's really handy if you have a medium that you really are familiar with, that you have control over. In my case, that are my zigs. I really like doing Noline coloring with them. My Copics I am scared of normally, and I try to do some more Noline coloring with them to get more familiar with them as well. But just start with a medium that you have control over, where you are easy going with, to get your grip on this. And then as soon as you are familiar with that, you can go to another sort of medium to color everything in, and you will advance in every step of the way. So just give it a go, I'm sure of it. You can do this. Just find a good ink to get the Noline coloring on there and start. And the first time it went completely wrong when I tried it. I think I even tried it with Copics the first time, and then I laid the ink aside because I was terrible at it. Then I came back with my zigs, and that worked out fine, and that was my way of getting used to the ink. So I really hope that if you have an ink laying down, having some Noline coloring ink from Ink on 3 for example, Fawn has an ink that's really easy to do some Noline coloring with. But also if you like to color with distress inks or other ink pads that you smudge down, use antique linen and go with that. Just give it a go. And I'm sure that you will get the hang of it and that you like it as much as I do, and then you're on a roll. So I hope that this helps you, but really try it first out with a medium that you are comfortable with. Okay, so I think I have talked enough now. For the rest of the Noline coloring, I will be putting on some music, and I will be back after all the coloring is done. So now for the details, as you can see, I am masking off everything except for the face of the critters to get it stamped out again, and this way I have a guidance if I need to go over it once more or anything like that. What I must admit, when doing some Noline coloring, when I use my zigs, I can still see the lines of the faces, and I just go over with my same zig, as you know me. But with Copics, really those lines are faded away completely. So I like to stamp them out with a lighter ink that fits with the color of the images. So the bear and the fox I did with some Crunchy Leaf from Fawn, and then the bunny I did with River Rock from Fawn. And if necessary, I use my Copic marker to go over that ink once more to get it really crisp. But yeah, that's how I get those faces in. And now I am taking the matching dies to die cut all the little critters. And then there is a whole process of adhering everything and placing everything down on this card. So here I am creating my card base, just folding it in American size. And now I am laying out everything, so I have my sentiment here, and I wanted to figure out whether it was placed well or not. But while I was placing everything, I was really happy with the result. So because I was afraid of not remembering where I wanted everything, I decided to already adhere a few items. Of course, you could also take a picture, lay it aside, and then continue on like that, but I didn't do that. And then you will see me fiddle with my background. So I am adhering everything using different sort of squares, some liquid glue, just to give different sort of dimensions. I will also stamp out my sentiment before everything is adhered on the card. But yeah, I just wanted to have everything in that spot that I had positioned it in. So yeah, decided to go this way. But the problem started when I adhered some of those clouds. Because I adhered them on the frame, and as you know, there is like the window that you can see now, that backing or the insert of that, or whatever you want to call it, it's easy to inlay it on top of your card and then you're sure that it's perfect. But now that those clouds are adhered, that wasn't an option anymore. But first, the sentiment, I am stamping it out with River Rock. With Crunchy Leaf from Fawn, sorry. I wanted to avoid the black, and since I have some brown images, I decided to use a brown. And here I realized that my inlay wasn't going to work. So I had to cover this with some foam tapes. That wasn't my original idea. I was going to adhere it flat, and maybe this is better, but I will never know for sure. But yeah, I'm using some foam strips from Darice so that I can easily move in that inlay. It will not be easy, but in my mind I hoped that it was going to be easy. So here I am adhering this, and now I'm taking some liquid glue, and now the fiddling starts. So I'm trying different ways to get this inside. And I also tried to get rid of those clouds, but that didn't work. So yeah, it was a struggle. So if you would remake this card or a similar one or whatever, inlay the things first that need to be inlaid before adhering anything on frames or sticking out of the windows or whatever. Yeah, but you know, it worked out, so I'm not complaining anymore. But this was not a good idea. So I'm adhering those final items that I already laid out. And then of course you know that I have inked up those flowers, so I will also be adding those on my background. And then, except for adhering everything, there is also some Wink of Stella glitter pen going on. I will be adding some glitter on top of my butterflies as well as on top of those clouds. So yeah, still a bit of adhering to do, but for the rest my card is finished. And yeah, so a bit of struggling, but for the rest I am really happy. So here I'm also adding some white jelly roll pen on top of the cheeks and as well on the butt of the fox. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you like the Noline coloring with Copic markers, because it's a bit different for what I'm used to showing you. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can always leave them down below. I am super grateful for you all to stop by and watch this video. I am honored, and I am hoping to see you next time as well. Bye!